Well, it's the end of yet another week, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions to discuss them in a video. This week was yet another exciting week in the NBA world, where a lot went down, so of course there's plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post either on the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, it turns out about 64% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I would also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing comes to us from Mason, and he says that Andrew Wiggins has now become underrated as a defender and scorer, and he'll be a very solid role player for the Warriors when Klay Thompson returns and they hopefully get back into contention. So the career arc of Andrew Wiggins has been all over the place since he's entered the NBA. He started as someone seen as a potential future superstar, then when he failed to live up to those expectations, he's been viewed largely in negative light for years, in some ways deservedly, but in other ways undeservedly, and it's gotten to the point where everyone's pretty much accepted that his star potential is gone. However, just because that may be the case, doesn't mean he can't still be a productive part of a lineup, and that's definitely where I agree with this take that we're discussing. Wiggins, throughout most of his career, was a slacker on the defensive end, and the conversation was always that he had the physical capabilities and the talent to be a good defender, he just needed to put in the work and effort to become one. With Golden State this season, he's looked like a completely different player on defense, and that effort is actually being put on display. He's done very well matching up with the opposing team's top wing scorers, and offensively, he's improved his efficiency and shooting to where he's much more well suited for the role that he's in. Now that we've all accepted that the days of Wiggins being overrated are over, we now need to understand that he has improved, and as a role player, he absolutely can bring value to his team. The next take we'll be discussing says that Chris Paul could actually be the MVP this season. His numbers just don't fully demonstrate how valuable of a player he truly is. I made a video not too long ago about how slept on the Phoenix Suns are as a truly viable contender this year, and now they're neck and neck with the Jazz at the top of the standings, battling for the best record in the whole NBA, and a few days ago the Suns even had a head-to-head victory against the Jazz where Chris Paul took over down the stretch and dominated when it mattered most. That's been the Chris Paul story for the last few years of his career, especially last year when he went to the Thunder and beat the odds by helping lead them to the playoffs, and now once again, he's doing it by helping the Suns snap their playoff drought, while also battling for the top seed. Now, Paul's scoring an efficient 16 points per game this year, and he's dishing out about 9 assists per game as well, which is good production, but like the original take states, it's not necessarily MVP caliber production, and doesn't demonstrate how important he really is to the team. However, even though all of that may be true, I still disagree with the notion that he is the real MVP this year. This does not at all mean that I don't believe Paul's having an unbelievable season, and it also doesn't mean that I don't think his value is off the charts, but the fact of the matter is that there are just other guys having better seasons and are clear favorites for the award over him. Nikola Jokic and his historic offensive production, and Joel Embiid and his dominance inside and out for the top seed Sixers are still the clear top 2 candidates, but after that, Paul absolutely deserves to get some 3rd, 4th, and 5th place votes by the media in the award voting. The next take we'll be discussing comes to us from Caleb, and he says that Malachi Flynn of the Toronto Raptors is a top 5 rookie this year and deserves to be in the Rookie of the Year conversations. Now, ignoring the bit of homerism attached to the end of that take, there actually is something worth discussing here, and the Raptors may have found another diamond in the rough. Flynn didn't have much opportunity in the early parts of this season, but as the Raptors have begun to shift towards giving younger guys guys more opportunity as the season has gone on, Flynn has been given a bigger role as of late, and he's really started to look like he could be a gem. He's a crafty ball handler that has shown good signs of becoming a competent facilitator, 3-level scorer, and primary initiator down the line, and his production has been on the rise as the season has progressed, and he's become more comfortable at this level. Overall, in the last 16 games that he's played, he's been playing more minutes, and in that stretch, he's averaging a nice 12.6 points and 4.9 assists per game, while shooting the ball a highly impressive 41% from 3. With all of this being said, though, this year's rookie class is filled with top talent, so the claims of him being top 5 are also just a bit of a stretch. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Tag Emperor, and he says that the 76ers are the only team that can beat the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs. The Nets are viewed as the favorites to win the NBA Finals this year by a large percentage of basketball fans, for good reason, because they have 3 absolutely elite playmakers in Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, and the Nets have been ridiculously tough to beat this year. The team hasn't even had all 3 of those guys healthy together for more than a few games, and they're still keeping up with the best teams in the league record-wise, so you can only imagine how good they'll be at full strength. In order to beat them in a 7-game series, there are a few things that you're going to need just to have a chance. The first thing is an abundance of top-tier perimeter defenders. The next thing is a dominant interior presence to take advantage of their clear weakness with their interior defense and rim protection. As this take points out, the Sixers have those things, as guys like Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Danny Green are all fantastic perimeter defenders, and then Joel Embiid is a matchup nightmare for the Nets. However, unlike what the original take states, the Sixers are definitely not the only team capable of beating them. The Milwaukee Bucks also have these necessary things, with defense from guys like Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton out on the perimeter, and Giannis also poses a huge matchup nightmare for them inside. I'm not saying the Bucks and Sixers will win a series necessarily, because the star power of the Nets is nothing to take lightly, but I think it would be foolish to write either off completely. Then, of course, whoever comes out of the Western Conference will undoubtedly give them a tough series as well, so all in all, I think we could be in for a crazy postseason that should be filled with excitement. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.